What's going on, guys? It is your boy Chris back again with another YouTube video, and in this video I do have a special guest with me to talk what to do in the first 2 weeks of FIFA 20, and that is his name is Elyyt. Why don't you introduce yourself?
You know who I am. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing.
His links will be in the description, of course. If you don't know who he is at this point, like, what are you doing in the FIFA scene? This is going to be a video talking about the first 2 weeks of the year, some trading methods to do, some investment tips, basically a kind of a recap of the starting guide video that I did a couple days ago. The link to that video will also be in the description, where it's more of a discussion of same thing, honestly, but I have Ellyyt's insight as well. We're going to talk about player of the month investing, the advanced SBCs, all that kind of stuff. So what you're going to do the first day, the first time you open up FIFA 20, obviously you're going to choose your starter team, right? Then you're going to look at your welcome back packs. You're going to have the let's get started SBCs. You're going to have the catalog, all of that kind of stuff. What do you think, Elyyt, is the first actual thing you do? Is it the welcome backpacks? Is it the advanced SBCs? What do you think is the first thing to do?
I mean, to be honest, like, welcome backpacks is like obvious. It takes 30 seconds, open those packs. I remember I got Renato Sanchez one year, like when he was hyped up. So that was a pretty good welcome backpack. Normally you don't get anything out of those, but just to get off the ground, like just get 1,000 or 2,000 coins, that's pretty big, because if you don't get that, you got to go out and play a game, and that's annoying.
Yeah, especially with the 10 hours EA access, you kind of are limited to time if you don't know how to do the EA access glitch, which we did a video over on Ellyyt's channel explaining. The first part of the video explained how to do the EA access glitch. I'll leave the link to that video in the description so you guys can go watch that. Obviously, I'm looking at the 4 SBCs for the advanced. Hybrid Leagues obviously is first. Now, I was always told, I don't know if you were told the same thing, Elyyt, but 3, 4, 2, 1 is how I always do the SBCs, because I've done SBC accounts before. So you do like Prime 9 first, which is, you know, pretty cheap. You get a 45k pack for this. Squad goals, you then get a mega pack for it. You get the 2 good SBCs out of the way. Then you get the last 2 done, which is going to cost you probably about 10,000-15,000 coins. But then to get that SBC done, you also get a 55k pack for doing the hybrid leagues. So, you know, at the start, either you can start by trading or doing the advanced SBCs. You're going to come out with about 20 to 25,000 coins. Then maybe you can do the advanced. On the low end, you might get 45 to 50k by doing this, because you're going to pack something that's going to sell, whether that be an 83, an 84, maybe an inform from the first team of the week. And then on the high end, you might actually have 75 to 80k depending on what you pack. So that's all really good to start. There's some trading methods. Obviously, if you're on the lower end, there's so many different trading methods to use. Elyyt, if you want to go into a couple different trading methods that you found useful this year, especially because I know, and I was watching you the day that you had the EA access, some of the methods you were doing. If you want to share with my viewers what kind of methods they can be doing on the first day.
All right, so I mean, it depends on how many coins you have. And he was talking about like the advanced SBCs, like you did 3, 4, 1, 2 or 3, 4, 2, 1.
Yes.
I normally start with 1. I go with quad, like the hibernation quad. I start with that. It's cheapest. It's the cheapest one, and you get a pack in return. I start with that, then kind of leave 2 for the last one, because that's normally the bad pack. That's the only thing I'd do differently. In terms of trading methods, after you do some of those SBCs, my favorite method to start out the year is the 1, 2, 3 method. It is, I don't know if Chris has his Elgato up on the screen for you guys, but set your min price at 1,000, max price at 2,000, min buy now at 3,000. You can do bronze, silver, or gold cards. I think silver is the best, but you can do it for any of them. You just search for cards that already have bids on them, and those cards, basically, since they have a bid, they're in demand. They most likely go for more than what that bid is going for. You place a bid on that. Check beforehand, compare the price beforehand, make sure you're not making a mistake, but, you know, 9 times out of 10, you're going to bid on that card, and, you know, at least half of the time you win that card because there's only 30 seconds remaining, 40 seconds remaining bid on that card, and you can flip that a lot of times for 200%, 300% profit just because it's a silver card going under the radar. Make some profit that way. Sniping cards, it's simple but it's effective. Find some filters that work for you. Marquee matchups, if those are out already. I don't think that'll be out in the first day, but maybe after like the first week. Marquee matchups. Any cards that are needed for those advanced SBCs, those will be out from day one. A lot of times there's like the harder SBC is like you need a one nation but like 11 different leagues. That's one of them. And the thing is that there's only a couple different ways you can go about it because there aren't that many different USA Gold players playing in 11 different leagues. I don't even know if there's 11 USA Gold players. So there's only like English, or English probably not either because they don't play abroad that much. So German or Brazilian. Brazilian's really good. Argentinian a lot of the times. French. Those are kind of the only options you can go with. And a lot of times there's not like that many right backs who are Argentinian. This year there were only two. It was a right back from the Argentinian league. His name started with Bastos, and then Zabaleta. Those are the only two options. And I think you could only go with Zabaleta because you needed to go with an Argentinian league somewhere else in the squad. So that card skyrocketed in price. Snipe those kind of guys. It's easy to find them if you have your these ideas already planted in your head, and that's why we're uploading these videos. That's why Chris is making this video. We want to make you ready. Look for these cards. I don't want you to be spending 45 minutes searching for these cards. You already know what to look for when you go in. So I'd snipe players like Zabaleta. It'll be a different card this year. I mean, maybe Zabaleta again. I don't know, but those kind of cards are what you're looking for in terms of sniping. Sometimes you can just search English defenders gold and there'll be a good sniping filter. It depends on what SBCs are out at that time.
Yeah, especially like you were talking about that 1, 2, 3 method. I actually found in less than 10-15 seconds was a Lacazette. So I put my filter not even on a silver, I just put it on any, and I saw Lacazette the first second page. So that method is very good to use. I was also showing them on the screen as you were talking about the different nationalities in different leagues because they're used for SBC solutions. They're very good to use. I was looking at Germans in Ligue 1. I was looking at the right backs you were talking about. All of that stuff. And the reason why we're showing you guys this is because for me, one of the biggest and most effective ways, just like a general tip for you guys, is like you have to be persistent with methods like this because yes, it's going to be 200, 300, 400 coins, maybe even 100 coins. But you have to be persistent with something like this. The first week of the game is the grind. And then after that, you should be set where it's just basically coin management and being smart with your coins, essentially. So that first week is a grind. It's just straight trading methods and stuff like this where you're looking at, really good nationalities in bad leagues or, German players in the Premier League and stuff like that. Anything that has a filter. If you find 3 or 4 different filters, you can switch within those 4. So if one is drying up, then you can go on to the next one, so on and so forth. Another method I'd like to use, and this is going to be prevalent probably not the first day, but once people start playing the game, is going to be the Hunter Forward Shadow method. And I love this filter. My friend B-Walt, he showed me this early last year, and it really works, man. Like, you look at the cheapest one on the market. So right now, Douglas is 1,500 coins. Obviously, during FIFA 20, it's going to be a lot better where you're going to have some rare golds. The market's very dead at the moment. We're in September already, so no one's really playing FIFA 19. So you'd be looking at rare golds that are especially meta. Then you can look, under 1,500 coins, how much that player goes for with a Shadow Chem style. People, the reason why this method is very good is because people list up cards with shadows and hunters that so they give added value to the card, but people actually just list them for their current market price without realizing the chem style that's on them. So they list them lower than they're supposed to, and then you can trade with those cards and make some good profit because in the terms of a seller, now let's look at the buyer's point of view. People, when they're going building their teams, they actually go and search up that same player with a Shadow Chem style on them because it's just a lot easier for them to buy the card with that. And that's where we just get a lot of our sales from, is people that are searching for their teams That's why this method, especially the first 2 or 3 weeks, man, is super, super effective. Now, obviously, those are some trading methods that, you know, off the bat you can use. The advanced SBCs, obviously, are going to give you some pretty coins. Like we said, 45, 50k if you're on the low end, 75 to 80 if you pack something sick. Not even just that first SBC, the hybrid leagues, you could do the nations one as well. Again, you could do like loyalty for the third one. So you can complete all those SBCs, get maybe probably 130, 120 coins, something, 120k coins, something like that. Now, obviously, I want to get into investing, right? One of the best things about this year that I learned is managing your coins. And what better way to manage your coins by buying some players, whether to put them into a starting squad, like an investment squad, or just stocking them in your club like Wants to Watch Gold players on those first couple days. I said in a previous video, the 21st is when I would get in by the latest. But those first 2 days, man, if you can get coins, you know, you're at 80 to 130k, start putting some coins into cards like that, because we've seen the graphs, right? Fred's price went from 12k or 14k to 45k. Mara's went from 19,000 coins to about 56,000 coins. You know the drill. Obviously, there's another investment point that Elyyt likes to talk about. He just made a video on it. Is the Player of the Month investing as well, and that's something we're getting into right now.
Yeah, Player of the Month is pretty much, it's done for August. We don't know who it's gonna be, but that'll be announced like in a week or two by the Premier League themselves, right? The game won't even be dropped yet, which means that the Player of the Month is for August. We're gonna know who it is beforehand, so it's probably gonna be either Aguero or Pukki or De Bruyne or Raheem Sterling, but really it's between those first two. I think Aguero edged out Pukki in this last match day. Pukki probably would have had it if Aguero didn't have a brace in this last match day, but Aguero with 6 goals and 1 assist, Pukki with 5 goals and 1 assist, both very impressive months. But we'll know who it is beforehand, so you can make those Player of the Month investments. I'd say don't make the Player of the Month investments on the first day. Chris was saying make those OTW investments on the first day, 100%. You need to get in on those OTW investments ASAP. Those Wan-Bissakas, you know, those Julian Brandts, those Thorgan Hazards, those Delicts. Get in on those as soon as you possibly can. But for Player of the Month, don't waste your coins on that investment that early, because Player of the Month not going to drop until the day of the full release of the game, which I think is the 28th, 29th, something like that.
Yeah. 27th, I believe.
Oh yeah, so 27th. It's the Friday, 27th. That's when the first Player of the Month is going to drop, and that's for August. All right. So make sure to get in on those investments on probably like the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Don't wait till the 25th or 26th. That's too late. But don't be putting your because the coins are so valuable very early. You know, on the 18th when we start getting early access on the web app, you don't want to have 50,000 coins and put 30k of that into Player of the Month investing, because you still have time to invest in that. And on top of it, you could be making so many more coins if you were to, you know, it's like opportunity cost. Yes, are these cards going to rise throughout the next couple days? Yeah, but you could probably trade up, you know, to 300, 400% of what your coins are. And those investments are probably only going to rise like maybe 120 to 150% in the next couple days. The real rise is going to be on like the 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th of the month. So I'd wait on those. Obviously, if it's Pukki, pick up Norwich City players that are gold. Pick up Finland players that are gold. If it's Aguero, pick up pick up Argentinian players from the Premier League. Pick up Manchester City cheap cards because, you know, there's not that many to choose from. And I remember Raheem Sterling won a Player of the Month one time, and they just required a full Man City team, and that thing was expensive. Now, I don't think they'll do exactly that because I think they learned from their mistake, but they'll probably require some Man City cards, and there's not going to be that many cheap ones because Man City's pretty damn good. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, going into that, when you said about the Argentinian players in the Premier League, well, one person, if Aguero does look like the front runner to win, is Nicolas Otamendi. He's going to probably be... He didn't have a great season last year. He may be about 84, 85 overall.
Yeah, no way
that's
going to
be
get
a good card.
Yeah, he's a big downgrade for him incoming. I mean, doesn't even start half the games anymore, and he obviously didn't play well for Argentina. So I'd say 84 at the most.
Yeah, so if he's an 84 overall, he actually might be... He fits in that category of someone that is high, a decent rating, but is not usable. He's only usable in SBCs. So, after that, first weekend when the game does come out, you're gonna be able to buy some of these cards for about, pretty cheap until the Player of the Month investing starts, and then people start investing. There's not as much supply in the market as you guys think, and then they start rising up in price as there's hype generating going into the SBC. The SBC is coming out on what day exactly?
It'll come out on the 27th of the month of September. So that'll be August Player of the Month, and then the September Player of the Month will come out on the 11th of September. So exactly 14 days afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. So like Player of the Month, like obviously, you can start getting into Player of the Month a couple days after you start getting the game. But those first 2 or 3 days, the investing, the putting your coins into certain cards is definitely going to be ones to watch gold. I would even venture to say SBC fodders as well. The reason why I would say that is because if you look at a guy like Brahimi last year, Brahimi is a card that does not get great links because he's in the Portuguese league. He was an 85 overall card, and he's not meta. Even though he does have 4-star skill moves, he was about 4,000 coins on the first or second day last year. That's a card that's easily going to be, when we think of 85 overall cards, when the game fully comes out, fully develops, and there's SBCs weekly, 85s usually go for about, anywhere between 8 to 12, 13,000 coins. So you're easily making about 4 to 5K on a card like this if you just stock them in your club.
I don't think he got lower than, what was it, 4K? I don't think he got that low again, ever in the game. Exactly.
So, like, he is currently at 3.9 right now because the market's totally dead.
Is it?
There's no SBCs to do. I don't even know how many people are actually playing FIFA 19 at the moment.
Haven't logged in to FIFA 19 Ultimate Team in like 4 weeks, so I wouldn't know what the price of 85 rated cards are right now.
Yeah, so like obviously they're on the low end, and the reason why they're on the low end is because there's no buying power right now. These cards are not in demand. The game is dead. So he's not going to drop below 8 to 9. I would say the cheapest that they would drop maybe is a couple months into the year. They may drop 7K, 6,000-7,000 coins during Black Friday when there's a lot of supply of cards. But I would look at SBC fodders. A card that I was stupid enough to sell off when I was losing on the card was Toby Alderweireld last year. I bought him the second day last year at 5,600 coins for an 85 overall. I thought, okay, his name is Toby Alderweireld. He has that prem hype. Even if his card's not that great, I still think he's going to go up in price. The next day he went down to 5.1K. My stupid ass decided to sell him at 5,000 coins.
Panic
2 days later. 2 days later, he goes up to 9.5K, and then 2 days after that, he went to 12.5. So, like, if you're seeing here, like, obviously Company is now on Elyyt, but, like, those were good investments last year. Brahimi's, Parejo's a really good investment because he'll probably be an 86, 87. He'll be Spanish as well and not usable because of his pace. He's probably going to be very cheap. You can just stock these cards into your club as well as trading, because as we are investing in these cards, you have to build your bank up as well. So, putting 10, 15,000 coins into Aaron Wan-Bissaka, where he'll be about 50, 60,000 coins, maybe a little bit lower that, depending on the card, how meta he is. Then you start trading again. Make that 10, 15K pack. Then go and buy another Wan-Bissaka, or go buy another Wants to Watch card. And continue to do that, because you have, if you buy 7 or 8 gold cards, you're going to have hundreds of thousands of coins in profit just off of those 7 or 8 cards, because the card prices, especially when you get in those first 2 days, they're going to fly in price because people start to catch on. Other content creators start to put out their videos saying, now is the time to start buying. Once people realize that, those cards fly up in price, and you're going to see those cards fly up like 5,000 to 7,000 a day, maybe upwards of that. So that would be Wants to Watch investing. Obviously, when it comes to the SBC fodders, my reasoning behind this is because when there's no buying power, no one's buying players for SBCs right away, because the advanced SBCs, they don't have a high rate of requirement. The Let's Get Started, obviously, the first SBC of the year that really requires high rated players is going to be dependent on that Player of the Month for the Premier League. So there's no buying power. People undercut each other. when there's no demand, they keep on undercutting. That is when you can buy. That's when they're at their lowest price. Is there anything else you would do, especially those first 2 days, Elyyt, that we haven't really talked about in terms of trading method or maybe even investment?
Only thing I'd say, building on what you just said, you know, trade up to 15K, buy another Wan-Bissaka. Trade up to 15K, buy another Wan-Bissaka. Make sure you're always leaving yourself some, I don't know, some room to trade with, because you don't want to start with 1,000 coins every time to trade up to 15K. Maybe say, hey, I'm at 15K. I want to always be liquid, or at least have cards that are actively trading and selling at the value of 15 or 20,000 coins. That way I can work with that. You know, I can buy a card for 6K and sell it for 8. I can buy a card for 3K and sell it for 4K. You don't want to always start again at 500 coins or 1,000 coins. So yes,
Exactly.
even though you can afford 4 Wan-Bissakas, buy 2 or 3. Buy 2 or 3. Don't buy 4, because then you'll be out of coins to trade with. Make it easier on yourself. Buy 2 Wan-Bissakas and then be able to trade with 30,000 coins. Once you get up to 45K, buy another Wan-Bissaka. You still at 30K, you got 3 Wan-Bissakas. So it's just easier to trade with more coins, obviously. So don't limit yourself that much. You know, even me, like you can obviously it's easier to trade with 300,000 coins than 3,000 coins. So
Yes.
just keep that in mind. Always leave
Yeah.
yourself something to trade with actively, because you don't want to just be sitting on investments and grinding 350 coin gold cards to 500. Like, yeah, I'll do that on the first hour that I have the game, but I don't want to do that ever again in FIFA 20. I don't want to be in that position
Exactly.
ever again. So, yeah, that's all I
Yeah.
got.
Yeah. Another. I would say to round out this video, if you're thinking of coming up with like new ways to trade, obviously we got into a couple different methods earlier on in the video. I mentioned this in a video before, but last year we were so fortunate to have 3 Premier League players all around the same price in the first team of the week. They were all about 13 to 17K. So what you can do is, while there's no special cards in the Premier League yet, there's no like UCL cards, there's no other informs from other team of the weeks, you can look at Xhaka, Yarmolenko, and Frazier, for example. Here you could have set your minimum or your maximum price at 11.5K, snipe under that, make about 1,000, 2,000 coins per card. That's another really good way of making coins. I'm trying to think of the last method here. I'd probably, the good nations and bad leagues is definitely a method I would look at. Also a buy time. So like the first 2 weeks, people always tell me like they always ask me, what's like the best time to get in on some of these cards where I'm always guaranteed to make a profit? Well, I would say, especially based off of my knowledge this year and just talking to other traders as well, 10 p.m. Eastern time, NA, is the best time to buy cards in the market. The reason why this is because the EU is asleep, and so is UK. So there's no buying power on the market because no one also has coins. So these cards get low late night. Then once EU and UK start to wake up again, and the majority of the people are on the market, these cards then go up in price, especially the meta ones. They start to go up over every single day at those times. So you can, if you have about 40, 50,000 coins, you can just buy a couple players before you go to bed. List them overnight. If they don't sell for a lazy buyer, that's another point. Lazy buying, there's more users on PS4 this year. You have to list your cards a couple hundred coins over, especially if you know that they're gonna be a certain price in a couple days. So you just list them higher and higher. If they so happen to sell, then you can just go put some coins back into that card. That's probably a little bit cheaper. So those are a couple different things I would look at going into the first couple weeks of the game. We do these videos because we want to sharpen your memory of what to do the first 2 weeks of the year, help you guys along. Obviously, I'll be on Twitch, YouTube this year as well, different than last year. Elyyt, of course, is going to be on Twitch and YouTube again, as per usual. For the last couple years, he's been doing all of this and is doing a great job of doing it. So thank you for coming on, man. I do really appreciate it.
No, thank you for inviting me on. I appreciate the invite. I was like featuring on your channel, and I'm expecting big things from you this year.
All right, yeah, I hope so, man. Thank you. Thank you guys for watching today. I appreciate it. Hopefully, if you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe if you are new, of course, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.